Hey guys, it's Matt. Welcome back to another episode of the Fake World series. This is the Y2K special. Because of my age, mid-50s at this point, I'm going to try to do a little bit more of this. For the younger people here, anybody under age 40, don't have a great grasp of what the old century, what the old millennium was like. And there's most people here are in their 50s or a little bit older, but we forget in terms of Y2K and the scare, which really started in the early part of 1998, leading up to Y2K, and all these computer programs and systems will need to be debugged and recoded before the clock strikes because there'll be power outages all over the world. Even people here, there's going to be a huge variety of what y'all believe. Now, not too many first grade truthers here, but they'll be the ones, first through third grade truthers, they'll be the ones to cry out in the night, psyop, of course. They just parrot things out and throw it out. And Matt, that's a fucking psyop, dude. Why are you talking about it? It's a reality breakdown. Remember, this is part of the Fake World series. I didn't just put this as part of the Fake World series for no reason. It's just a psyop. No, it's not that simple. First grade truthers. That's why we're going to dive into it here. You'll see. Don't just throw that out. Don't just parrot that back to me because you think it's cool or so everything's a psyop. No, there's multiple things that happen leading up and per Y2K that to me go into the area of reality breakdown. Maybe not as hardcore as many other things. I have been accused of using that term lightly, but if you give me a few minutes, I'm not using it lightly. Don't just cry out in the night psyop, okay? Try to get to 5th grade. Hey, look what I found. Lancaster County starts about 30 minutes from where I am if you go out west, mostly out Route 30. It's Pennsylvania Dutch country. It's where the Amish are in my area. Don't give me a Pootie Tang award. There's people listening from Australia. They don't know these things. It says Lancaster County welcomes 2,000. If they only knew what they would be welcoming. It's like welcoming in a pack of demons. Whoever wrote this up, you have no idea. You have no clue what the new century will bring. How about 1 in 5 families will have a child that doesn't know what bathroom to use? And that's just one of tens of thousands of things. What does it say? Home delivered 40 cents. 40 cents? Home delivered. It doesn't make any sense. No wonder they're out of business. The newsstand, it says, is 50 cents. Home delivered, 40 cents. So if I'll go out to the newsstand, it's more expensive than if you bring it to my door. Mac, just get on with the point. What were we talking about? Okay. 2 minutes or less for those that are under age 35 or really forget what Y2K was all about. It was the dates in hundreds of millions of computer systems. 2 digits to save on memory. Now, to anybody, say back in 1997 when the buzz started, that knew even the slightest bit about computers, this all made sense. So how is it a psyop? 2-digit day, 2-digit month. They only had a 2-digit year. Some say, again, to save on memory and RAM was so expensive, or just laziness. Designing a computer system in 1987, you just use 2-digit for the year and you won't need to worry about it. By the year 2000, there'll be a completely different system. It's the fallacy of future solutions. So, lazy, who knows, whatever the reason, there was, and this isn't a psyop, there were hundreds upon hundreds of millions of computer systems that have a 2-digit year. And 45 seconds or less, if anybody's struggling, well, what's the problem? There are hundreds of millions of potential scenarios where when 99 goes to 00 and the computer system thinks that it's 1900 because it doesn't know a darn thing about 2000, that there can be gigantic problems. I'm not an engineer. I don't understand that stuff. Far from it. But just with engineering and power plants or nuclear plants or water treatment plants, the hundreds of thousands of things that potentially could happen where maintenance cycles. I don't know maintenance cycles for power plants. I don't know what I'm talking about. But okay, it's going to program when is the next maintenance cycle. It's going to go out in the future. Well, how does it go out in the future if it's, let's say it's September of 1999 and the maintenance cycle for whatever of 100 things is every 6 months? How does it go out and find March of 2000? It's 00, it gets confused, or it thinks it hasn't had maintenance for 100 years. There's just, okay, I could do this all day long. If you just want to scream last time, if you just want to scream psyop and go off and have a little first grade truther party, go ahead. Okay, that's it. This is not the case. Anybody that knew anything about computers could see that the huge potential issues in the millions that could come if this thing wasn't debugged or fixed properly. But that's where we get into the reality breakdown territory. Okay, I'm working for the big insurance company. I remember clearly years before 2000. By the way, Greg working for Mitsubishi says the same exact thing. Anybody over 50 working for a big corporation, you remember this as well. Some sort of team came in. And the team at the big insurance company, this is just one segment. We were the international division. All the other segments of the big insurance company had their own teams, and they didn't work for the company. They were consultants, and they would just sit there. I think it was this guy, I remember talking with him. He had two other people on his team, and I don't know, they just would go through code and change it like a year and a half out or 2 years out. I remember at one point somebody talking about this guy is holding the company hostage because, he didn't negotiate the contract properly, and now every single Y2K debugger is employed, and he's not, I don't know, he's offered something about he was going to walk out if they didn't triple his fee. I mean, they had the companies hostage. It doesn't matter, but this was the claim system. So, yeah, the claim system, if it doesn't understand the year 2000's coming, could show claims have been sitting around for 100 years not paid, things like that. So getting back to the PSYOP thing for just 1 minute or less, there weren't 20 million workers around the world changing lines of code to a 4-digit year from a 2-digit year, and they making sure all the other parts of the code that access dates can use that properly. There were 20 million workers around the world working in electric plants and things, just scamming people where there was no need for it. Everybody saw the need. Okay, Matt, that is well established. The reality breakdown conversation starts when we remember absolutely nothing happened. So the two choices don't really line up and don't really make sense. So these, 20 million workers, all these workers around the world, all these power plants and different types of systems, they just found all the code and they got it right in time across the board, and then they fixed it all. I mean, okay, let's just look at the different types of people working. Or maybe Goldman Sachs and these stock companies on Wall Street, maybe they had the best of the best working for them. But what about the sewage treatment plant in northern India? Just about 50 miles north of the Taj Mahal. Treats the sewage for the tourists at the Taj Mahal, but all the surrounding cities as well. I mean, did they have the same resources and capabilities to change all that code? Or did they say, should we change the code? Fuck it. What? Are you going to do anything? We got to change this 2-digit to 4-digit. They just said, fuck it. Everybody got it right. Well, Matt, the first grade truthers are popping up. Well, that proves, you jerk. That proves it was a PSYOP. No, it doesn't. This is where the reality breakdown comes in. You think I'm making this video for no reason? It's my first conspiracy video? I just saw this and I thought this can't be real. But there's other versions of this image on other websites. It says CNN, Y2K warnings, shut down electric utilities. It's saying it could shut down electric utilities. Prison gates open, terrorist attacks, wild dog packs. What is that? How do the wild dogs organize? How are they syncing up? Matt, as a non-conspiracy person back then, of course, this is way before the 7-Eleven submission of the job application. Matt, what did you do? I clearly remember taking out extra cash. The ATMs wouldn't work, and you'd need to buy water and food. I didn't stock up on food. I didn't see the world in any way as I see it now. I was going into Y2K, was in my late 20s, but there was so much buzz about it, so much talk, so many fears, so many news programs, etc. I thought, go to the ATM 4 or 5 times. I probably had $700 or $800 cash in case credit cards didn't work. I did some basic things. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 other things. I bought a little bit more food or so. I don't know, but I didn't do any major prepping or anything like that. I forgot to mention I was still living in Los Angeles at the time. That is not the place to be in a Y2K if it really were to have melted down. But the first thing I remember was, Australia turns, I guess, the new century, new year, new millennium first. And celebrations in Sydney and Melbourne. I remember seeing this on television. For those of you in Sydney and Melbourne, different parts of Australia, the U.S. will always show you guys first, bringing in the new year. And what's going on? Did half of their city lose power? Or the water treatment plants not working? And nothing. And there was almost no talk about it. It wasn't like we survived Y2K. I mean, there was some mention of it, very, very brief. It was just like bringing in the new year. Absolutely no issues, no problem, and almost no mention. It was almost like they went, "My bad." Let me speak again to the voices crying out in the night that want to tell me that proves then it was a psyop. No, it doesn't. It is literally rudimentary second grade stuff to see all the potential issues that going from 9-9 in terms of a date to 0-0 would cause if it wasn't fixed. The fact that nothing happened, to me, is a reality breakdown. Now, I've thrown that out a lot, that term, and this might be the one where more of you than ever before push back and say, "Come on, Matt." I mean, this is the one where you're really using incorrect choice of words. I mean, I see it this way. I really do. There's no way they could have found all the code, fixed it. And again, look at places around the world, Laos and all. They don't have the same capabilities, I don't believe, as the big insurance company or Goldman Sachs or whatever. We saw almost nothing happening around the world in the most remote and poorest of places. Somehow it didn't affect their water treatment plants. Nothing happened. When we'll go to Wikipedia, we'll do in just a moment, it's a bogus list of bullshit. Like a snow cone machine in Pyongyang, North Korea, started spinning like a centrifuge. Or the list is so bogus on Wikipedia, it does feed into those that would scream PSYOP, because they have to list a few things out. They can't just say absolutely nothing, so they give you this bullshit list. Here's the Wikipedia of the, quote, actual problems that occurred. I mean, it's an absolute joke. They have one thing listed for Australia. In Australia, bus ticket validation machines in 2 states failed to operate. That's it for the entire country/continent. I mean, the list is a joke. One last time, if you don't understand anything at all about computers and how the computer would use or incorrectly use a 2-digit date, it's very easy, not understanding, to just throw out that this whole video is for nothing. I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting your time. It makes sense, Matt, that nothing happened. You just don't understand. To me, the fact that nothing happened, and this is nothing. I mean, they got to list something, right? A chicken didn't hatch out of an egg. I mean, this is a joke. This is impossible to me, and I'm not going to back off reality breakdown. In Japan, machines in 13 train stations stopped dispensing tickets for a short time. And what does that even mean? And what's a short time? Did they fix it in 10 minutes? In 20 minutes? What about all the drunk people trying to make it home from Tokyo for the Y2K party? Hey, Tanaga, get over here, Tanaga. We can't dispense tickets. We're going to have to let these sons of bitches ride free. I mean, did Tanaga then get it fixed in 15 minutes? Hey, Japanese people, you're supposed to be precise. What is this horse shit? Now, it looks like a big deal, the second one. Oh, a nuclear power plant. Radiation monitoring equipment, the monitoring equipment, went out a few seconds after midnight. Nothing to do with the plant. The rest is all bullshit. Let's look at another country. The next one is South Korea. I'm sitting here with my mouth hanging open, agape. They're doing this in the order of how the sun would come up, guys, and who would hit the year 2000 first. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. I don't even know how to talk about it. Is reality glitching out right in front of me in real time? The first one listed under South Korea. At midnight, 902 Andol heating systems and water heating failed at an apartment building near Seoul. The Andol systems were down for 19 hours and would only work when manually controlled, while the water heating took 24 hours to restart. And if you're saying, what's the big deal? I need to pause this and explain this. I don't even know where to start. Hold on. Guys, it's not just that what was read is impossible. This is something I'm very interested in. I made a video not too long ago about the ancient South Korean Ondol heating system where you burn fire, smoke, and gases under the floor. It comes out a chimney or pipe on the other side. It goes back potentially 3,000 to 4,000 years. You basically dig in the dirt under a cement or tiled floor. There's no possible way an apartment building is heated with Ondol systems. It's just impossible. It would have to be, it's small homes. And it said 902 Ondol heating systems went out. Well, maybe 902 different heat, but it's like reality glitched. It just showed me, the stoves, the Russian stove stuff I'm so interested in. This is what I do on the stove advice and everything. It's not possible. No apartment building can have Ondol under a mud underground heating systems. It would be, like reality just showed me. It just got confused and delivered something to me based on my interests or something. It's totally bizarre. Okay, I'm just sitting here shaking my head. I'll just return to what I was doing. Like this just didn't happen. But at midnight, 902 of what I just showed you, 902 Ondol heating systems in one apartment building. And then you have the down for 19 hours. There's the 19. Let's just continue. This is reality. You have derailed, my friend. 2 hospitals in unpronounceable province reported malfunctions with equipment measuring bone marrow. We do this on the fly, guys. I have no idea what's coming. And patient intake forms, with one accidentally registering a newborn as having been born in 1900. That ain't nothing but Benjamin Button, dude. You had Benjamin Button there. This ain't no mistake. And 4 people in the city of, can't pronounce it, received medical bills. They received bills with dates from 1900? What interest was applied? A court in unpronounceable sent out notifications containing a trial date for the 4th of January, 1900. Statute of limitations. That should get you off, buddy. A video store in, can't pronounce it, accidentally generated a late fee of approximately 8 million won, approximately $7,000, because the store's computer determined a tape rental to be 100 years overdue. Imagine if it was porn. It would have been a $400 million bill, because that shit's triple expensive. Korea University sent graduation certificates dated 13 January 1900. One more picture of this, guys. I can't get over this. This is the ancient Korean under-the-house heating system of Ondol. I guess the one on the left might be for cooking. The one on the right goes under the house to heat the floor from underneath. This is some dude sitting there lighting a fire. So what was this? This doesn't have anything to do with technology. If the fires went out, then the fires went out. What the hell does that have to do with the 2-digit or 4-digit date? Fires don't know 2-digit, 4-digit date. It's a fire under the date. Okay, Matt, move on. Continuing the joke list by country, in Hong Kong, police breathalyzers failed at midnight. Well, what breathalyzers? The mobile ones they carry in the glove compartment next to the half-eaten chicken sandwich, or the more sophisticated breathalyzers they have at the station? They have down at the station. Which ones? But the ones that they're stuck next to the chicken sandwich, they just have a few batteries. Now, Hong Kong should be the city of lights. Fuck Paris, the city of light. Hong Kong, it looks like the whole city looks like Times Square. All those lights, the whole city is technology. Everything's fine except the police breathalyzers. It's almost like reality. It was going to have a list of nothing, and then at the last second it said, we have to come up with something. Reality, this is a really pathetic and lame attempt to come up with something. In Zhangzhou, China, taxi meters failed at midnight. Oh, again, think of downtown Shanghai. It's like Hong Kong. All the electronics, just taxi meters. Half of them are manual anyway. Ding, ding. What the hell is? Okay, this is turning into a clown show. Not because of what I'm doing. It's insulting my intelligence. In Egypt, 3 dialysis machines failed brief. So just those 3. Everything else, all the other thousands and thousands that were made, they're all fine. Oh, okay, Matt, just get through it. In Greece, approximately 30,000 cash registers, amounting to around 10% of the country's total, printed receipts with dates in 1900. Oh, gee. In Denmark, the first baby born on 1 January was recorded as being 100. That's Benjamin Button again, born into two different countries. In France, the National Weather Forecasting Service said a Y2K bug made the date on a web page show a map with Saturday's weather forecast for 1/1. Oh no. There's the 11, there's the 191. Why would it add digits onto the end? It doesn't make any sense. How could it possibly there's just no way. If you change to 4 digits, great, but it wouldn't be 5 digits. I mean, that's impossible. This is insulting my intelligence. Additionally, the government, Matt, this whole video is insulting my intelligence. The government reported that Y2K glitch rendered one of their Syracuse satellite systems incapable of recognizing onboard malfunctions. Well, who cares about that? There ain't no satellite system up there anyway, right? We've got to include Jamaica here before we get to the United States. Jamaica, Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, 8 computerized traffic lights at major intersections stopped working. Officials stated these lights were part of a set of 35 traffic lights known to be Y2K non-compliant, and that all 35 were already slated for replacement. Are you kidding me? This is an insult to our intelligence, making it seem like Jamaica's all up on things. I've been there. They don't give a shit about anything down there. Are you kidding me? If 8 computerized traffic lights at major intersections stopped working, that's because it's the only 8 that were computerized in the whole country. The other ones, I don't know, had little squirrels in them or whatever changing the lights. They made it seem like, oh, we fixed everything but these 8. It was probably the only 8 that were computerized, and they said, we need to change these out, man. When's Y2K? Next Tuesday, man. Fuck it. I've got a fucking party to go to. This is ridiculous. What does it say here? All 35 were already slated for replacement. They weren't even installed yet because the dude was too freaking lazy to put them in. I've been there. They don't give a shit about anybody. Guys, real quick, if that sounded overly harsh on Jamaica, there's reasons for that. It was like 14 years ago. A friend of mine is going to get married in Jamaica. He's got this package, Sandals White House. Oh, what an incredible package. What's the catch? The catch is you have to travel by bus and like an hour over the mountains, over the rainforest. Take your life into your hands. I think they're riding on the wrong side of the road. We're going around this bend. My face is plastered against the window of the bus. Literally, you look, there's no guardrail. We're in a good-sized bus. No guardrail, and it's like 400 feet if anything pushes, and we're going head-to-head with big rigs coming around the mountain. We're going head-to-head with big rigs where there's only a few feet of space on each side. If that big rig, like, say, bumps us, I'm the one with the face planted against the window where I'm going to roll all the way to the bottom of the mountain. Here's the number of survivors. 0. Well, obviously, we survived. We got out to Sandals, which is also like on the bay or something. It was all muddy, mucky water. It wasn't this beautiful blue that you see in the brochures. And then they came out, the locals were able to come in on like a Tuesday and sell t-shirts. And the t-shirts were, I survived the road over the mountains to White House. And people wanted to, I said, don't buy that. We haven't really survived yet. We have to go back to the airport. Do not buy that t-shirt. Do not jinx us. We didn't truly survive till we get the hell out of this 2-bit country. There's a lot of other stories I could tell you guys, that things that you just, at some point you felt that, if something were to happen here, there's nobody coming to your rescue. Let's just leave it at that and move on. Returning to the countries, down a bit, in the United States, the U.S. Naval Observatory, which runs the master clock that keeps the country's official time, gave the date on its website as January 1st, 19100. Oh, sure. Yeah. Do you mock me, sir? I mean, oh, sure. So it's about time, right? It's about 99 goes to 00 and getting the times and dates and computer systems right. The one thing in the world, the one thing in the universe that should be accurate, I know it's the website, but come on, the one thing of all things that should have everything fixed perfectly, the U.S. Naval Observatory, which runs the master clock for the world, gave the wrong. Do you mock me, sir? I mean, Not Milk, if you're listening, I mean, you should really be ashamed of yourself. Maybe the regular people fall for this. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives could not register new firearms dealers for 5 days because their computers failed to recognize dates on applications. So the only person that could have successfully got firearms during those days is the Terminator, because he didn't he didn't need no background check. 45 long slide with laser sighting, Uzi 9mm, what is it, plasma rifle. Just what you see here, pal. He didn't. You can't do that. Wrong. It would not have affected what happened between Kyle Reese and the Terminator. Everybody else, you had to wait for fucking 5 days. 150 Delaware Lottery Racino slot machines stopped working. What a travesty. In New York, a video store accidentally generated a $91,000 late fee because the store computer determined a tape rental was 100 years overdue. So we have a total of 30 things that happened in the world, and 2 of them were video stores. Yeah, okay, makes sense. And in going through just part of this short list, there is a preponderance of pairing with the 1 and the 9. Like reality's trying to reach out into what it knows what will be coming in the near future. This is the way reality works, folks. I'm not trying to be funny in that, whether it be retrocausal working backward, or reality at this time with this bogus list reaching forward, knowing what will be coming. Somebody accused me in a comment. I've heard like, Matt, you put too much stock into time, or something strange like that. Oh, really? Because I've given 3 or 4 videos over the years about how time doesn't exist, how the future and the past, it's really a trick of this reality to make them seem as separate as they are. A big part of my fiction book, Quantum of Conscience, or at least a major segment, is about how time doesn't exist. And the comments like, Matt, you put too much stock into time, or I've never seen the person's name before. People pop in here and they listen to 4 or 5 videos and they know me, they know us. Put in 7 or 8 years and then I'll listen. Being my age, I remember pretty clearly they didn't ground any airplanes or commercial planes during Y2K, but I just decided to look it up to see what it would say a moment ago. Yes, airplanes were in the air during Y2K, and the Millennium Bug did not cause any widespread disruption in air travel. Did not cause any widespread disruption. Why you put it like, I just showed you the list. Nothing happened anywhere. Why you put it like that? While some airlines experienced cancellations due to passenger fears, flights operated as scheduled. Systems tracked over 500 planes as the new year arrived. But in the weeks leading up to it, the big thing was this push, just a week or 10 days out. Remember, turn your computer off before midnight on 12/31/99. Well, first off, this doesn't make any sense. If there's going to be a glitch, well, it's going to glitch when you turn it on the next day, January 1st or 2nd. Like, what's the difference? If you leave it off and turn it on later, it's going to fix itself? That doesn't make any sense. If it's going to glitch, then it's going to glitch. But if this was such a big deal, remember to turn your computers off, then, okay, we know obviously this was overhyped. Okay, I'm not saying it wasn't overhyped. The media didn't latch onto it. I'm just saying there's legitimacy, as I've said 1,000 times in this video, with the issue itself, complete legitimacy. Maybe legitimacy is a 2 or a 3, and they push it to a 10. But they're inconsistent. The Not Milk is very strange. Or maybe the Not Milk wasn't what it was in the last century. We talk about a change in reality. So you're going to tell everybody to turn their computer off, but you're going to have, 500 humongous commercial airliners in the air. So do the people yelling PSYOP, or at least those saying that it was overhyped by the media, and it certainly was overhyped, then why didn't they go the whole way with the overhype? Why didn't they ground airplanes in North America? I mean, it's so inconsistent sometimes the way it does business. I mean, if it's trying to overhype, then overhype by saying, as of 9 p.m. New Year's Eve, we're grounding all flights until at least the next morning. I mean, wouldn't that help with the hype if they're trying to overhype it? Look, we know flying is safe, but if you're going to pick one day where you're trying to take risks, I mean, who are the people that boarded these flights? I mean, do you want to be on a flight? Think of 1999, when the clock turns and there could be potential problems in an array of different types of computer systems? You want to be in the air? You just couldn't fly the day before or the day after? Why do the pilots that even work for the airlines you should have said, I'm not even going to do it until the air traffic control system proves out? It's just strange to me that there were even that many flights in the air. Who would get on the flight? What crew would work the flight? It's strange all the way around, folks. I'll close with this image, the New York Times, for January 1st of the new millennium. Look at the top left. Boris Yeltsin. Yeltsin resigns, turns back to the bottle. Putin takes over. Elections in March. Elections, sure. Putin comes in basically the first day of the new century or 1,000 years, millennium. He's still there. Maybe that's undead ghoul will never leave. There's something to this. Matt, what's the conclusion here? Well, the conclusion is not what you would think. The conclusion is fake world. Well, what about the specifics on Y2K? I don't provide, and you shouldn't look for specifics on the individual circumstances that the not milk throws at us in this reality. To get any closer to it than what we just did is getting into the weeds, which is exactly what it wants. The conclusion is to reaffirm what we already know. Fake world. Couldn't have hundreds and hundreds of billions of lines of code going over by 20 million people. Just the fact that they were even in there digging around means that it's in itself should have caused all sorts of problems, and then have absolutely nothing happen. Well, how did that happen? How was it that? I don't know. All I do is my job is to call out fake world and to make fun of it when it's appropriate, just like we're doing here. Not to get closer to tell you exactly how the reality pulled it off, how nothing happened. I don't know. Just call out fake world, laugh, and move on. The faker the world gets, the absolute better it is for us. Thanks for listening.